So Alex, how is IoT disrupting healthcare?
In a lot of different ways, mostly because everybody wants to do it and nobody's figured out how to do it in a way that actually is understandable and friendly for the people who are actually using it. So we have all kinds of things that will help people change their behaviors or will help track behaviors. But the key term in healthcare is compliance. So you want to make sure people, particularly with chronic conditions, are complying with their medication or their treatment protocol. And we have things like pill dispensers that know whether or not medication has been taken morning and evening. We have the wearable devices that know how much somebody is moving. We actually have devices that let people know about respiration if they have asthma conditions. So we have the technology, and of course you have an entire industry that desperately wants us as consumers, as healthcare consumers, to use these devices, but most of us are busy doing other things and taking care of our kids or our dogs or our lives, and the compliance with actually using the devices that allow us to have compliant behavior and actually be healthier instead of sicker is pretty uneven. So it's very disruptive in that we know that we need to be using more of these devices to help people be healthy, but we haven't quite figured out behaviorally how to make people want to do that and to do it consistently.
So it's interesting, that last question, because you're the CMO of a healthcare company. How are you starting to create new experiences with these new devices, with these new technologies? How do you think about approaching that as an organization and as a marketer?
I think about it in small bites because what I want and what my company wants is wholesale changes, but if I can break it down into small behavioral changes that people can take, so if I can get people to take the stairs instead of the elevator, how do I break it down to small changes and how do I actually serve those up in little bite-sized snippets in context where people are actually going to listen instead of being annoyed by it.
Do you see that this new IoT technology changing the way that they actually get healthcare delivered to them?
It's changing it dramatically, and it's kind of a free-for-all now to figure out what the right prescription is or what the right formula is. The combination that seems to be the most impactful with least amount of intrusion or where we have permission is on the wearable devices, because most people who are wearing them self-select. They're people who are actually doing something to be healthier. We call them the health seekers. Health seekers tend to use the wearable devices, but if you can get that data sent to their EMR, the electronic medical record, and then you have a discussion with your doctor when you come into your nurse practitioner, that's actually very impactful in terms of managing weight, BMI, and nutrition as well.
Fantastic insights into how healthcare is changing.